A report from the Finance Department regarding a budget adjustment to the CIRLF Fund 527 in the amount of $410,000.
I would like to motion to postpone until the next meeting, to give me time or anyone else to meet with the CIRLF committee tomorrow, just to discuss what I see as possible inconsistencies and get clarification.
Second.
For that.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
Since I was on the CIRLF committee and did have a CIRLF loan, I will recuse myself from this vote.
Any more discussion? So do we know what we're voting on?
It's a motion to postpone to the next meeting.
Yes, okay. Okay, roll call, please.
Alderperson Barnes.
Aye.
Parker.
No.
Pulis.
No.
Evans.
Yes.
And Hurt.
No.
Motion fails.
Agenda item.
So now we would go back to the underlying agenda item 14A and see if there's a motion to approve the budget adjustment.
So moved.
Second.
A first and a second. Is there any discussion?
I will also recuse myself from this vote.
Yes, the reason I wanted to postpone that is that there are a few inconsistencies that I really wanted to talk to the CIRLF committee about. One is related to membership. According to the ordinance, there should be like 5 members on the CIRLF committee, but in reviewing the minutes, there's been anywhere from 6 members, the sixth member being the former mayor, up until recently, 3 members, which their most recent loan was approved on. So again, according to the ordinance, there should be or shall be 5 members. So to me, approving a loan with just 3 members would make it invalid. Secondly, again, just looking at the most recent loan and possible conflicts of interest that I do have a lot of questions on. So just want clarification before we move forward with anything regarding that. So those are some of the reasons. So also, based on that, I was going to also request that the City Council consider transferring the approval of loans from the CIRLF committee to the City Council before any additional loans are approved. I think the CIRLF committee is the only committee where the committee approves, the actions. It does not come to City Council, and you're talking over $100,000 that the City Council does not have authority to approve. Secondly, additional committee members need to be assigned in order to align with the ordinance. Again, there's only 3 members currently, and there should be 5 according to the ordinance. And secondly, just looking at a formal review of the CIRLF program to determine if it's more beneficial to redirect remaining funds to other eligible areas. So similar to how they redirected like $250,000 for the fire, to replace the roof on the fire department. Could we take that remaining money and redirect it to maybe like housing solutions? Because based on, loans that are being issued, the majority of those loans are not being paid back. They're going to collections. So I would really like for us to just look at all of those options before we continue with this program as is.
Leslie, can I talk, even though I recuse myself?
You cannot, because you recused yourself.
Alderperson Barnes, I appreciate your thoughts and your input. I certainly have shared my thoughts and even objections to the city's economic development program within the overall CDBG program, which our economic development program for the CDBG program is the CIRLF program. That's that's it. I don't agree that this specific motion, the budget adjustment is the appropriate place to have this debate. The council has approved the program, the CDBG program broadly. It's been approved by HUD, as I understand. I think that there's a time and place for us to have these conversations, but just to clarify why I've taken the position that I have, I think that this is a much narrower thing that we're doing here, shoring up the CIRLF fund. The reason it's being shored up is because it is seeing activity. We are putting people to work and expanding Rock Island businesses through this program, which is, I think, a shared goal that we all have. I would encourage you and everybody on City Council to have a robust conversation about how we want to do the economic development portion of our CDBG program, but I don't think that this specific way tonight is the right way to do that.
Can I respond before you respond? I respect everything that my colleague just said. The problem that I have with that is she didn't ask to completely stop this. She asked to just move it to the next meeting that she can get clarity. And I think she's right in asking for the clarity, is why I seconded it. There are some areas that she does see that may be an issue. And I think that for us to just postpone this to the next meeting clears it up for everyone sitting up here. It'd be different if we had study session where we could have brought this out during study session, came to an argument and an agreement in that. We didn't. So this is the time in which she has to do that, and I stand firmly behind her in trying to get that done. And I do still understand that there's 3 councilmen due to the fact that Alderman Healy is recused himself. So we're still almost in the same situation that we're dealing with in the approval of this now. And I just think that for us to postpone this is the best thing to happen right now.
And I guess I'll follow up, just looking at an amendment back in February of 2022, that's just to show inconsistencies. Back then, there was a process to update policy and procedures to formally delegate authority that has formally been exercised by the CIRLF committee. So that tells me there was not even an ordinance to allow the CIRLF committee to approve the loans. And this has been in existence since, they've been doing it since how long, Miles? 1984. So 1984, but it was not in the ordinance. So in 2022, it was put in the ordinance for the CIRLF committee to approve. So right there, that shows a lot of inconsistencies in the program.
Alderwoman Barnes, I have to interject, that is not accurate. It has been formally delegated by ordinance since that time in 1984.
So
That was just the last time that the ordinance was updated.
in 2022.
Yeah, in 2022.
Okay, well, thanks for that correction.
I appreciate the desire for more information and to clarify things. My concern is sometimes requests for clarity and information is actually simply just disagreeing with the policy. Specifically, you cited wanting this power to be vested within the City Council, not the CIRLF committee. That is not a matter of needing more clarity. That is simply a disagreement on the policy. And the policy has been settled by the City Council. And it's okay to disagree and to have disagreement, but that's not wanting to postpone to get more information. That's simply disagreeing with how we've decided as a body this works. So again, I sympathize with wanting more time to get information, but I think we know the information. It's just a matter of some of us disagree, and that's okay, and that's why we vote.
Well, she is speaking also on inconsistencies, and that is exactly where she may want answers and clarification from. whether the inconsistencies are normal or not normal. I know Miles just cleared something up, but what Miles can clear up, what the staff can clear up with those inconsistencies, that is what she's looking for. If they're inconsistent, obviously we disagree with them until we figure out what's going on with them. So I think I am in agreement with at least pushing this back just for a little while, just so the council can be confident in what they're voting for, because this isn't any chump change. This is as you stated, Alderperson Parker, this is a very important program, and council members, if anybody else, should be absolutely confident in that procedure, to the understanding of how they view it and how it functions as well, because it has been here a very long time, and it's something that we want to continue and be good for the city. So if it's inconsistencies, we can look at strengthening and getting the program even better. I don't see a problem with that.
Also, when I've had conversations with other people about this due to the fact of the manner in which it came up, I think it's just better to basically get a better understanding of what actually it says to begin with. And I think the way it came up, even our legal representation has not been able to get a full understanding of what may be the problems here. And so that's why I also still state that we should postpone this until the next meeting and get some clarity that we are all on one accord.
My question on this, if I may, is we've had this agenda since late Thursday. And if there was a situation that we need to have clarified, why do we wait until we come to this meeting and say, we don't understand something? We could have easily taken it off the agenda and had that clarification without having this discussion.
I have been having a discussion with the staff since December 27th. I have email documentation.
But it still could have been just put out and taken off of the agenda prior to that if you had some genuine concerns. And you sat in that office for how many years? So you're familiar with how these things go. Why do we wait until the meeting to say, now I don't understand?
I didn't say I don't understand additional clarification. Again, do I not have a right to request this? Is that what you're saying? Like I said, I've been having conversations since December 27 up until today with staff. And staff was the one that recommended, where's the email? Since we
I totally respect what you're saying.
No, since you want to get really specific about it. So I sent this email this afternoon to let them know this is what I would be talking about tonight. And the email from Miles stated staff will need a little time to review documents and provide more thoughtful response. And then he talked about the CIRLF committee is meeting tomorrow morning. So it's not like I'm not doing my due diligence. I understand how to do that, so don't be condescending. So I'm just asking and requesting a postponement.
I understand your comments.
Call the question.
Any more discussion? Leslie?
Sorry, Alderman Parker did call to question, which means we end debate and move directly to the vote. If there's a second on that, is there a second on Alderman Parker's motion to end debate and move to the underlying?
Second.
Okay. So that's a first and a second on the call to question. We would need 2/3 a vote to do that. So you want to go ahead and take that vote.
Does everybody?
And it's not debatable, sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Sorry, so the underlying motion now, so right now we've got the underlying motion to do the budget adjustment. Alderman Parker called to question, which ends debate and moves directly to the vote on the matter. I needed a second, which we received. It's not debatable or amendable and needs 2/3 vote to pass. If that passes, then we vote on the underlying agenda item. So I know that's a little confusing. Right now we're voting to end debate. That's the vote, yes or no? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and
Roll
do the
call, please.
Alderperson Barnes.
So again, to end the debate,
No.
I'm fine. That's for tonight, right?
Yes,
Aye.
Parker.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
And Hurd.
Aye.
So now we move to,
Yes.
straight to no discussion,
Yeah,
the
roll
vote on the
call.
underlying budget adjustment.
So now, is everyone on terms of what they're voting on now?
I made a motion to approve the budget adjustment. That's what we're voting on. Yes means you support the budget adjustment, no means you oppose